God, my guy. I'm rolling with my ninja Jesus Christ. Sacred can suck on my cock tonight. Some yellow nigga just burned my rice. God, my guy. I'm rolling with my ninja Jesus Christ. Sacred can suck on my cock tonight. Some yellow nigga just burned my rice. Let's go, Jesus!
Hello, I'm the Media Whiz, because one art form wasn't enough. And I'm the captivating Christian, may Jesus be with you, and today me and Wiz are going to be reviewing a 2012 comedy called The Campaign. The Campaign is a 2012 comedy lampooning election years, which is funny because this came out 4 months before that year's actual election year. Produced by Adam McKay's company, Gary Sanchez Productions, and directed by Meet the Parents' Austin Powers' very own Jay Roach, the film stars Will Ferrell and Zach Galifianakis, who also produced the film. The film is labeled as a parody, but that's debatable since we live in a world where these jackoffs actually take a dump over the good name of satire. So the movie begins with Will Ferrell playing Cam Brady. He is running for a Democratic Senate for a 5th year in a row. He's very respected. Most of his campaign consists of him going to various people going, "Oh, this group of people are this nation's backbone," and it's pretty funny, I gotta admit. He tells people that, whoever they are, that they are the nation's backbone, which is a pretty humorous scene. So things are going well until Cam's campaign hits a bit of a speed bump. When he accidentally calls a very Christian family, very Christian sheltered, like Ned Flanders family, and makes a very lewd sexual call, and I thought it was actually really funny. In a scene that I found quite unfunny, I found it very offensive, actually, and she says I'm very easily offended. Well, I'm sorry if just the movie was very distasteful towards Christians and the like. So after pulling a bit of a Bill Clinton by having an affair with another woman, even though he's a popular politician, he decides to do what most failed politicians do, go to the media and tell everyone that they're the problem, which I don't know about you, but was definitely giving me flashbacks to the protesters who say that, oh, if Trump wins, then all of a sudden everyone else is to blame, which, yeah, very classy. We're then introduced to the Mach brothers, who are supposed to be like the Coca-Cola brothers. They basically just pay off politicians and rake in the dough. Their plan in this case is to get a politician to support building factories in America for Chinese employment. So they're going to basically take a Chinese factory and move it over to here. China's a very big part of this film.
China.
So, seeing that Cam's campaign is going downhill, they decide to recruit a new politician. They get Marty Huggins, to be the Republican running for Senate. So, we meet Marty, and he's played by Zach Galifianakis. And I gotta say, Zach Galifianakis in this movie, like, he always plays, like, the exact same character. Like, in the Hangover movies, it's fine. But, like, every other movie, he does, like, that weird man-child, look at me, I'm saying something weird, but it's gonna come back later, and it's gonna be really smart. That character gets annoying to me sometimes, but this movie he's actually playing a character. The character he's playing was apparently based off his like stand-up skit where he played a fictional twin brother of his named Seth Galifianakis. So I actually really liked Marty. The character is actually a pretty good character. It was definitely refreshing to see Zach Galifianakis play a different character, I think, is the most part of it. But yeah, so Marty gets rung up to be the Republican nominee for North Carolina Senate. Because his dad is really good friends with the Machs, and his dad is played by the amazing actor Rip Torn. And Rip Torn is really funny. Rip Torn has like this he's playing a Rip Torn character basically. Like he clearly is like this curmudgeon old man, and he's hilarious like almost all the times he's on screen. He tells Marty that he's gonna be running, and I gotta say their scene, it's awkward, but it's funny awkward, but not the kind of awkward that like Zach Galifianakis is on like Tim and Eric or anything like that. I hate that crap. So, quickly a rivalry has started between the two as Cam, as a way to get back at him and sort of throw Marty off track, invites him to a brunch where he shows off a slideshow of very humiliating things that Marty has done in his life. Everyone laughs at Marty, people turn against him. But then the Mach brothers send Tim Whatley. By the way, fun piece of trivia, Tim Whatley, spelled differently, is actually the exact same name of a character that Bryan Cranston played for Seinfeld. So Tim is going to be Marty's new campaign manager sent by the Mach brothers, and he basically turns Marty into the perfect spitting image conservative Republican. puts a Bible on his end table, puts a picture of a bald eagle over the fireplace, guns on the wall, deer heads. Perfect conservative, if you ask me. So after a token montage of Marty becoming more and more like the typical conservative Republican politician, so then we get to the campaign, and here's where the satire of this movie kicks in. The satire they're going for is all the mudslinging that goes on, which, considering the campaigns we've got going on this year during the election.
Assuming that she runs, by the way, how she gets away with the email stuff is hard to believe.
You gotta see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember.
And we need to make sure that they can be proud of us.
If she runs, she's running for one reason. She's going to be able to run for one reason, and that's because the Democrats are protecting her. I bring people together. Everybody loves me.
He needs therapy.
I really think this movie holds a lot of relevance after at least 5 years. Like, when they first go on the stage, they have a little bit of back and forth about mudslinging each other. They're both disowning each other. And then we get Cam, who gives the stereotypical Democrat speech that you've heard a million times over. And after Marty gives the most stereotypical Republican speech ever made, and Cam accidentally ends up hitting the baby in the face, and he gets blasted on the news. Now here's what I find interesting about this movie. This movie has cameos from news outlets and comedians and talk show hosts who are extremely liberal. We have CNN, MSNBC, they had Chris Matthews, and I hate Chris Matthews. Bill Maher, who I also don't like. They have talk show hosts like Bill Maher, who I do not find funny at all. He can be funny, I guess, but and then they even worse, they have Piers Morgan. I hate Piers Morgan. All these people, and just not once in the movie do they have Fox News, and that way you can tell this movie is a work of fiction, because the very liberal news outlets of CNN and MSNBC are disowning the Democrat, because more often than not, they report on Marty once, but whenever Cam does something wrong, they're reporting about it. Now you know the movie's fake, because CNN and MSNBC almost never disown a Democrat or a liberal or anything like that. So you know this movie's a work of fiction. Cam then gets an ad guy who makes an ad talking about how he slept with another woman and how sexually attractive the woman was. And then they make another ad, and this is when I started thinking, is Cam really like a liberal Democrat? Because he seems more like a conservative, because his second ad campaign has them talking about how Marty might be linked to terrorists, and it actually did really work as a commercial, as an actual ad. It really felt like something, well, out of this election year's campaign ads. After another debate where religion is brought into the picture, they decide to try and get religious people on their sides. So Cam starts hanging around a bunch of Christian people, and Marty starts hanging around a bunch of Jewish people. And there's a scene where Cam is in like a Baptist church holding snakes, and he gets bitten, and he starts tripping out. Like, that was actually really funny. That was pretty good. I like that scene. Find it on YouTube. It's really good. Cam then goes to Marty so that they can talk it out a bit. Marty gives Cam a lot of drinks, and Cam then starts to reveal his backstory about how he got into politics. And Cam got into politics when he was in the 5th grade as he ran for class president so that he could take down a jaggedy jungle gym that got a lot of kids cut. Which, granted, it was a very dangerous jungle gym, but my question is, the school really needed to be told to take down the jungle gym under the ruling of a 5th grade class president? That feels a little weird. They would have taken it down anyway. What kind of power does a 5th grade class president have to take down rusty old school equipment that the school should have taken down already? Marty ends up backstabbing Cam because he got him really drunk, so he then calls the cops on him as a drunk driver. The cops then take Cam away. Cam gets out of prison the next day, gets bailed out. Basically, Marty tries revealing that Cam is like a communist. So yeah, insert some kind of Bernie Sanders joke there. So he pulls up like this old stapled together piece of paper book that Cam made called Rainbow Land, and Cam's like, it's just a book that I made when I was in the 2nd grade. I was like 8 years old when I made it. And it's just about, like, it's about a leprechaun giving a pot of gold to a unicorn or something like that. And Marty, like, reads a page from it, and he's like, well, you see here, this says, come to Rainbow Land, where things are made of fudge, cotton candy, and everything is free. Communism! A riot breaks out, which, relevant to the election year we've got going on right now. Cam is about to take a swing at Marty because people are fighting, so he's about ready to fight Marty. He's about to hit Marty, but he ends up hitting a dog, which is also a famous movie actor dog. Cam's wife eventually leaves him because he's not doing well in the polls and because she's a gold digger. Cam is eventually shown an ad that has Marty in it, and he's with his son. Well, he's with Cam's son. And Cam's son calls him Dad. This makes Cam very upset, so he decides that he's going to have sexual relations with Marty's wife as payback. He actually goes through with it. He actually goes through filming. He actually goes through with it too. He bangs Marty's wife, and he filmed it, and he wants to put it on TV as an ad. Marty ends up shooting Cam as a way to get back at him for the little incident, and he goes up in polls, which is incredible. Someone got away with shooting someone, and their polls went up. That's unheard of. Eventually, Marty meets up with the Mach brothers, who unveil their plan of, taking the Chinese factories and moving them to America. Marty does not like that, so he decides he's no longer going to be under their control, so he's officially leaving them. He's going to run as an independent Republican. The Mach brothers then decide they're going to use Tim to be Cam's a campaign manager, and Cam's polls start going up. Marty does something very, very surprising. He goes on live TV and starts revealing all the truths. Basically, like, reveals them for being crooks, which, insert irrelevant Fine Bros joke here, I guess. That's going on, which, that's the one thing we need in America. We need a politician who speaks the truth. Not Donald Trump. Donald Trump says he speaks the truth, but he really doesn't. He doesn't. So as the election comes to a head, it turns out that Cam has more polls, and that's because the Machs bought off voters. So, yeah, once again, the big companies, the PACs and the lobbyists, they're running this country, people. We need to know. You need to know right now, people. Big companies own this country. As Cam won, he then has a heart-to-heart with Marty, and Cam decides to go up on stage for his first senator speech, and he reveals what the Machs have been doing, and everyone then turns on the Mach brothers. And he then resigns and says that Marty deserves to win, so Marty takes over the reins as the new senator, and the movie ends with the Machs getting subpoenaed. As it turns out, they have lots and lots of legal fraud and illegal embezzlements, and oh yeah, they hired Tim, who turns out is actually an illegal. Yeah, he's an illegal terrorist, as a matter of fact. So that was the campaign, and honestly, I like it. I mean, okay, it's not a great film. It has a lot of crude, immature humor, as a lot of comedies do, especially from Adam McKay and Friends. But this is truly one of their better movies. There's a lot of truth to what's said, and there's some genuine belly laughs. The two main leads play their parts well, the script was well done, and hey, let's be glad on one thing. It wasn't one-sided, with the typical, this side sucks, this side's good crap, like a lot of other movies do. I'm the Media Whiz, because one art form wasn't enough. And I'm Chris T. Ian, and people... Please, don't vote for Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton. Please don't vote for Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. They're both just terrible. They're both just horrible people. They're both awful. Just awful. Both just awful. Awful people.